Welcome back to our Clever TV Eclipse chapter recap series. I'm Jocelyn Davis, and today it's chapter 14. Keep watching. Chapter 14, Declaration. This chapter opens up with Bella telling Alice that she is completely lost if she really thinks this party is still happening. Bella basically states the obvious, saying that with all the craziness going on, a graduation party just doesn't really make the top of the priority list. Of course, Alice is quick to tell her that it's still happening and says that since they can't work all of the important stuff out right at that moment, they might as well enjoy Bella's first time graduating high school since it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Then back to the real problem. Edward talks about how Jasper thinks the Cullens could use some help from some other vampires out there. Edward mentions a bunch of other groups, all of whom are friends of course, but none of whom are vegetarians. Yikes. Edward also talks about how Jasper will have to teach all of them how to, in his own words, eliminate the newborns who are causing all the trouble. Bella, of course, starts to stress out about the Cullens heading out to fight off the newborns in the next week. Would they all make it home safely? Maybe if she could help them. Now, if they would turn her, she could totally help them out in the fight. Of course, they immediately turn this idea down, explaining that young vampires are not focused enough to fight their own instincts, and they end up being good targets themselves. Then, in a little twist, Alice sees a vision of someone canceling coming to the graduation party. It was Renee, Bella's mom. She was going to surprise her daughter, but Phil had gotten hurt, and in all honesty, Bella was actually really relieved. It was just one less person that she would have to worry about getting killed off. Through it all, Bella is entranced by Edward, his beauty, his patience, so she kisses him after a really long phone conversation with her mom. Then Edward mentions that the following afternoon he plans to go hunting, but some of the others would stay behind and keep an eye on her safety. Bella is annoyed at the fact that she's going to have babysitters, and then she thinks about the fact that, well, she hasn't been to La Push in a while. A weird look crosses Edward's face, and Bella asks if he's hungry. He says no, but they want to be as strong as possible when they go for their fight. He actually says that Jasper's been considering cheating for the mere fact that it would help them out since, of course, human blood makes them the strongest. He won't do it though because Carlisle will not approve. Bella calls Jacob to talk about hanging out while Edward hunts. Of course, Jake loves this idea. Bella's a bit annoyed that he still insists on dropping her off at the border himself though. He gets more annoyed as he drops her off to Jake, especially since the wolf is yelling so only Edward can hear his thoughts in his own mind. Finally, Bella runs over to Jake and he seems really cheerful, but a little bit off. After a closer look, Bella notices how tired and completely disheveled Jacob looks, so she suggests that they hang out at his house. Billy's actually over at the Clearwaters, and Jake says that he's helping her out with his kids, and of course Bella immediately thinks that it's probably because they're having a rough time dealing with the loss of their dad. Still though, Jacob looks like a zombie, admitting that he has only slept about 6 hours in the past 2 days. He finally tells Bella that Sam has him running double shifts to watch out for her. They just don't trust the bloodsuckers to do all the work. And Bella doesn't open up about what's really going on because she wants to protect Jacob. Of course, he inquires about her graduation plans, but she knows what he's really asking about. He knows that her plan is to get turned post-graduation, but she assures him that nothing out of the ordinary is planned, except of course for her graduation party. Then Bella does something crazy and invites Jacob to the big soiree. Not probably the best idea. And then in a flash, Jacob passes out, looking like the innocent boy she first met. So Bea watches TV to pass the time, feeling relaxed and safe. High school was over for her, as crazy as it seemed. She started pondering the fact that if she had it her way, her human life was almost over too. But was she really ready though? Only if Edward was the one to turn her. But she knew that he would only do it if she married him, and she could not for the life of her imagine telling everyone in her life that she'd be marrying Edward the summer after her high school graduation. Then Bella realizes that the sleeping Jacob, he has his arm basically smashing her, and it is so hot. So after she tries to throw it off her body, she wakes him up and he seems so disoriented. Bella wants him to rest, so she says that she's just gonna leave. But Jacob is not having this, and he heads outside with her so that they can make the most of their hangout time. Jay paces around for a while, awkwardly, and then he finally seems ready to tell Bella whatever it was that Edward had noticed in his thoughts beforehand. Jacob seems a little bit nervous and wants to tell her something she probably already knows. He says it's something that, yes, she's already aware of, but he wants to say it out loud so that there is no confusion. Uh-oh, Bella suddenly is sure that she doesn't want to know what's going on. Then in a strong declaration, he says in a sure voice, "I'm in love with you, Bella. I love you, and I want you to pick me instead of him. I know you don't feel the way I do, but I need the truth out there so that you know your options." Wow, just like that, he put it out there. And of course, this is the end of the chapter, and what a way to close it out. So here's your question for this recap. Do you guys really think that Bella already knows that Jacob is in love with her, or do you think that she just thought he cared about her? Give us your thoughts right here. And keep an eye out for the next recap. Since we're getting closer to the movie, we're going to be releasing several chapters at a time. I'm Jocelyn Davis. Thanks for watching Clever TV, and I will see you next time.